It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show!
Hey there, everybody. It is the Fellowship of the Geeks podcast. My name's Thomas Chick, and joining me for this episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey, gang.
Wes Webster.
Hello, all.
And Liz Newman.
Hello, everybody.
Thanks,
everybody.
Somebody's getting ahead of herself.
See you tomorrow.
She's ahead of her time.
Yeah, only about 45 minutes, but yeah.
I would ask how everybody's doing, but I think we already know how Liz is doing. That's some good shit.
Oh, man. I need some good shit. Well, I watched a movie. It wasn't a good movie. I watched Rebel Moon. I've heard mixed reviews on this, and I took a friend's advice and gave it a shot, and I don't know. I'm not going to bag on it just because it's Zack Snyder. So, you know, that was already a strike going in, but that's not the reason I have a problem with this movie. I think it's like a 2-part or a 3-part, but the first part is like 2.5 hours long. It's the same complaints that I have with some of his other movies, and I guess I'm just learning that he's not my style. I don't like the way he shoots things. I don't like his filmography. He had some, which I've given him credit in almost all of his movies for the exact same things that this one had going for it. He had some amazing scenery. The planet that she's on, I forget the name of it, but it's like right next to Saturn, or a planet that kind of looks like Saturn. And I mean, that right there was just gorgeous. But he falls into the same trope that he always does, that when he has this amazing black background, I'm going to blur it out. You're not going to see it. You're just going to see a blur of it. And if one person's talking, I'm going to make sure that that is the only focus you have, is this one person, and blur everything else out. That gets annoying, because then you're kind of telling me that I need help following your story. You know, let me decide where my focus should be, you know. And then he had some good fight scenes. Like I said, once again, he's excellent when it comes to like special effects and scenery. I guess that would be his music video background. I'm not sure. But when he gets into these fight scenes, some of the best parts that they get to, he freezes it. And then it's slow-mo Matrix style fighting for a couple of seconds, and then he speeds it back up. Well, that's fine every once in a while to show you how someone maybe he's a little badass or something. But in one fight scene, he did that like 8 times. So it's like, dude, and this is at the beginning of a 2.5-hour show. You know? So this happened frequently, and I don't like that.
Reminds me of Mission Impossible 2.
I don't think I've seen that.
John Woo, every freaking fight scene had to be done slow motion. And it's just like, you know what? You don't need to do that.
Didn't they do that with the Downey Sherlock Holmes movies, too? It was annoying there, too.
I didn't see those, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I could see like maybe the final kill shot of the movie doing something like that, or even like in The Matrix, to show you there was something a little trippy going on there, you know. But every time, to me it made it feel like he was trying to build this girl up to more than what she was. that I have to show you every little good move she makes in slow-mo so you realize what a badass she is. And,
Wow.
you know.
Good thing it wasn't a Star Wars film, because hell.
Well, and here's the thing I don't get. He came out, now this is his words, and he was like, this is going to be better than Star Wars. And so I'm thinking, hell yeah, we need something better than Star Wars right now, you know. So that's part of the reason I gave it the chance. But now that it's come out, now he's like, well, I didn't say this was Star Wars. No, you said it was going to be better than Star Wars. So you were the first one to compare this to Star Wars. But then when you watch it, he ripped so hard on Star Wars, even down to we may get like a Vader dude. I mean, come on, are you Star Wars or are you not Star Wars? You know,
Well,
make up your mind.
I may be mistaken, but I think this was based off an idea he had actually pitched for a Star Wars film. And they rejected it, so he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to do it my own way. Which is it's fine. You know, because that's how we got Star Wars. Because Lucas wanted to do Flash Gordon film, but he couldn't get the rights. He says, "Well, I'm going to do my own version of Flash Gordon."
If I would have listened to this story pitch, I would have told him it's been done before. Give me something different. You've got the whole freaking universe to go and tell a story in. Why do you have to rip from Star Wars? You know, it to me, it was like he missed an opportunity. And this is a dig at him. I don't think he knows how to tell a story. He doesn't understand the concept of beginning, middle, climax, end. Simple, basic storytelling. He's all over the place. We have like 8 new fighters introduced to us. I can tell you what each and every one of their backstory is, but I'll have a hard time telling you what the main story is because there was so much backstory to keep up with. If this is a 2-part movie, I don't need to know all that shit in the first hour of this, you know? Let me find out later who this person is or leave it a mystery of who they are. But every single person had a backstory. And it was narrated. And at one point, I think he put himself in the film. Maybe a cameo. It really looked like him. But I won't say it's him because he's kind of, I hate to say generic face, but he's kind of got one of those faces that looks like a lot of different people, you know? But, yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Normally you can go, well, there was good actors. It was just a bad script. I can't really say that here either. I felt like the acting really fell flat. I felt like if I went to high school with the girl that's the lead in this, I would have felt like she was trying too hard to be a badass because she wasn't. You know, that's the vibe that you get from her. She's trying too hard. But at the same time, she doesn't want you to know that I didn't like it. I probably will not watch any more of it.
Well, it sounds like there's a few people are right there with you.
Yeah, he has some great shots. I mean, there's some action scenes. Like I said, the background is just phenomenal. So you get these good shots. But good shots, you can't piece those together and make a good movie out of it. Yeah. You can make a music video, but you can't make a movie out of that. And I think that's where Snyder has made, he can't make that leap. So, I don't know. Music is always on point. His scenery is always on point. And like I said, every once in a while, he has those still shots that are just like, that could have been cool, you know. But he just, for me, just missed the mark on all of it. It was too much. And, yeah.
Yeah. I saw the trailer for this before it came out, and I was like, nope. Not interested.
Yeah. And I've always been the kind of person, too, that I can appreciate, especially in sci-fi movies. That's part of the reason I love them is because of, like, the special effects and the makeup effects that they can pull off. Bad beard galore all through this movie. I mean, he didn't even try to hide the fact that they're fake, you know. It was it was bad. I'm not an expert, but I do watch a lot of things for the makeup artistry and a lot of competition shows and that kind of thing about makeup artistry, and they missed the mark on that too. So it's kind of
it's a weird thing to cheap out on too.
It is.
It's
it
not
is
that
because
hard.
you know, yeah, and you know that Netflix paid him good money to do this, you know. But then part of my mind goes, he didn't care what he put out because he knows his fan base is just going to eat this shit up, you know. He could fart and they would be like, "Oh my God, he's a genius." So it's sloppy, and it tells that you're not really into what you're doing, you know.
And for the record, for the 2 parts, $166 million.
Any estimates as to how long the second part's going to be? Probably not.
Well, he says he has director's cuts of both of them. At 2.5 hours, I'm thinking we're getting another 4-hour, 8 hours.
Why? Why?
Snyder.
Who's altering the thing from? Why do we have a director's cut for a movie that hasn't come out yet?
Right. Well, why are you director cutting it for Netflix?
Who's cutting it if not the director?
Yeah. Because he knows he can do this shit. It's a second paycheck.
Yeah, I'm not
You get
sure
your fan
he's going
base
to
to
keep
watch
getting
the
away with
first
this
one,
forever,
you know.
though. I think the so-called fan base is going to abandon him if they haven't already.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
saying
don't
necessarily
know.
because of this movie, but I mean, this is something. All of this shit went to his head somehow, and
Big time.
I don't know. I think he's lost touch. I'm not
Well,
sure
when
he's
you
ever in touch, but
when you have a major corporation like Warner Brothers bend a knee to your fan base, yeah, you got a blank check wrote to you. You know, he's weaponized his fan base is what he's done.
yeah. But the deal is, I'm not sure he did it. I think his
No.
fan base weaponized, but I don't think he had any control over it. I think he's claiming that he did at this point, but I don't think it was
Right.
him that did anything. I think
But
it
he didn't.
happened
But see,
around
that
him.
was the problem. He didn't do anything.
Right. He thinks he
He
may
let
think
them
he did,
do this.
but
You know, he didn't step in and go, "Hey guys, we can't tell people to kill themselves. That's not cool. I just lost a daughter that way." You know, he didn't do any of that. He let them go. He wanted that movie and he let them go.
mhm.
So that's where I lost respect at that point. Oh, thank you. At that point, he didn't
You're
have to
welcome.
do anything, you know. Aw, he just brought me in a heated blanket. Aw.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
Okay, you need to skip to the rest of the class.
Right.
Yeah, no
I've been
shit.
telling him all day I'm cold. I'm so cold.
How cold are you?
And you know, I don't know if my opinions on this movie are syncing with what everybody else has said about it, because I tried to not be that biased. I already knew I was going to be biased because I don't like Zack Snyder, you know, but I didn't want to have the negative in my head.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen what other people have said about it. I'd be curious now if it's just me.
I purposely tried to stay away. I mean, I did see the stuff about what I had said earlier, but that was about it. And I didn't really go out of my way to look for it. I'm pretty sure I saw it on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I just, you know, at this point, I'm ready to move on. I've got tired head about the whole Snyder thing, of the fans, of Justice League, of all that. I'm tired. I'm ready to move on. It's already been discussed over and over and over again. It's not going to change. We got what we got, and it doesn't matter because there's a new regime in and all that, and he says that he's done with superheroes, which is going to films, which
thank God.
Yeah, he went too far with that anyway.
I've watched some of his other stuff that weren't superheroes, and I've pretty much always said the same thing. He's just all over the place, and he tries to cram too much in. And even though he takes forever to tell the story, he's still cramming too much into that time. You're overloading your viewer,
Well, I mean, what else has he done? There's Sucker Punch, which I've never watched. I have no interest in watching it. Then he remade Dawn of the Dead, a movie that did not need to be redone. Mm. Which there's a pretty long list of that. That's all I know that he's done that's not superhero related.
Well, he did 300.
Oh, okay.
300 was a graphic novel.
But as a graphic,
it is a graphic novel.
Frank Miller.
Yeah. So, and then Watchmen. Yeah, that was graphic. Yeah.
Well, and then that's superheroes.
Yeah, I'm looking over his thing, and you're right. It's all.
He doesn't. Well, and it's really no original ideas other than Rebel Moon. Well, I mean, Sucker Punch probably is, but I have not heard anybody say anything kind about that. But,
now, see, here's where I will compliment him. He did, I didn't know that until just a little while ago, but he did the video for My Chemical Romance Desolation Row. That's an awesome video. I mean, that was kind of one that Chemical Romance kind of broke out of the grungy, dirty video to a more put together, tell story kind of video. So I think he needs to. Yeah.
I'm sure that's what fans thought.
Yeah. Because that was on the album that didn't hit too well with the fans. But the video, like I said, was pretty cool. It wasn't what we were used to, but it still was pretty cool. I would be curious to see what other music videos he's done. I think me and him would actually have the same kind of music taste, to where I may actually like him in that genre. But telling me a story in a movie, no, dude.
You could be friends as long as you don't have to talk about work.
Right. Yep. Or he'd have to really be open for criticism. One of those kind of friends.
Which I kind of have a hard time believing, but whatever.
Yeah. He doesn't strike me as that kind of person either. But no, I wanted like a Star Wars movie. I think he tried, but it was not a Star Wars. Any kind of around that. It was in space.
Nothing like Star Wars.
Well, like I said, you've got the daddy issues with the princess kind of storyline going on. You got where, spoiler alert, you think they killed him, but guess what? They came back and they found his body on the ocean. Where have we heard that before? I mean, it's like, dude, you're trying so hard not to be Star Wars that you're Star Wars right now. I was waiting for the Wookiee to come out.
Well, there's a part 2 coming, apparently.
That is true. That is true. He even had like the little creatures in a bar scene, So yeah.
If we get Ewoks, we'll know.
Yeah.
Little teddy bears running around. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's where he missed the mark too. He could have added some more cute elements, like that. I think that's kind of what first drew me into Star Wars was the puppetry.
He wasn't thinking about the merchandising when he was doing it.
No, he wasn't. See, missed the mark again. But yeah, I mean, that's I wish I could say that was the only good thing I have to tell you guys, but that is the best thing I can tell you guys right now.
Okay, Mikey.
Well, cool. Avoid a movie that I was going to avoid anyway. Gotcha.
Right? Yeah. Saved you.
I can handle that advice. That's good.
I even asked Brendan. I said, "Do you want to rage watch this with me?"
Wow.
That's what he said. Nah. I think I'll pass.
Oh, it could be entertaining. Turn on the camera. Get it for YouTube.
A reaction video. Well, hey, that's an original idea.
Hey,
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, a 3-hour
Mother
reaction
son.
video.
Yeah.
No, that version will be on our Patreon. That's what these guys do. There's an edited version that's on YouTube. You say, well, if you want to watch us watching the full episode or movie and all that, you go to our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
It's smart. Because I
don't understand how they get around copyrights like that, though.
Well, they're not showing the full.
Yeah,
they're not showing the full episode or movie. It's just it's only just bits and pieces here and there.
They're just showing them commenting on it.
And then commenting on it. Yeah. It's no worse than a trailer. So. Yeah, that's how they get away with it. And in some cases, a lot of the video has like a watermark on it. So they'll put a watermark or for like the studio or maybe their watermark or whatever. So that stuff's kind of obscure too, or they make the screen real small. So they are the primary focus of the footage is them and their reaction. So that's how they get away with it. It used to be worse, but I'm sure that they started kind of getting on them, and that's how we have it now. So
yeah.
So the studios will let it go because it's free for listening.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
So. All right, sorry about that, Mikey. Go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. That was fun. Little tangent there. So I watched a movie too. I liked mine better, I think. I watched a movie that we actually sort of indirectly talked about a few weeks ago. It's called It Came From Beneath the Sea. It came out in 1955. And it starred Kenneth Tobey and some other folks. Yeah, this is the movie that was an interesting kind of afterthought for a comment that got made in Thing from Another World. But so the story here is Kenneth Tobey is playing a sub commander whose sub gets attacked one day, and so they end up they survive it, they get away, they limp back to port, and samples get taken from where they were attacked, and it takes a while, but the eggheads figure out basically that it's an octopus of some sort. Now, the idea that an octopus big enough to attack a submarine is impressive. So they go through a little bit of technobabble, and they start piecing together reports that they're getting of other vessels being attacked and stuff happening on the coast. So they sort of kind of bait the thing into the San Francisco Bay, mainly so we can get a Ray Harryhausen octopus climbing up the Golden Gate Bridge, which is really nicely done, and by the way, not surprisingly, because it's Harryhausen, and the creature scenes all look pretty awesome. I'd almost say the octopus stole the show from the actors, but that's mainly because the story itself, the story other than the sciencey stuff, was a little boring. It was a little flat. It was basically a love triangle thing, which of course Kenneth Obie wins in the end. But overall, pretty good movie. I would recommend it.
Sounds pretty cool.
Like I said, if nothing else, there are several octopus scenes, so there's enough to make it interesting by itself, and then, I mean, the rest of it is the Navy people running around like trying to figure out what they're doing and trying to figure out how to kill the octopus and all that stuff. But yeah, overall it's pretty good.
Cool.
One little side note I noted was, in a very, very small role, we get a fairly young Eddie Fisher in this movie.
Cool.
That is different.
Different than what?
To have Eddie Fisher in a movie like that.
Oh, I know, right? He's usually in higher profile stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yup.
Where did you locate this?
It's on Tubi.
Okay.
At least it was when I watched it. It might drop off for a little bit, but usually when stuff drops off for a little bit, it comes back in a month or two. So if it's not there when you go looking for it, try it again at some point.
Cool.
Very nice.
Yep, it's fun.
Well, you got Les excited. He's going to have to go track it down.
Oh, I remember that movie vividly, but it was...
Doesn't mean you won't watch it again.
Oh, hell no. You know I will. But it is Harryhausen, and that was one of my first Harryhausen movies. So, yeah, I'm back in on that.
I'm curious, guys, since let's just mention that, what was your first Ray Harryhausen film? Do you remember?
No. Let me see what is ours. I have to see what his movies are.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Oh, Clash of the Titans, hands down.
Yep, that was my first one too.
I'm not sure that was my first. I think I had seen some other ones just on TV randomly before that, like in the late 70s. Like I remember one of the Sinbad movies or something had a bunch of skeletons running around. I think I remember seeing that pretty early on.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah,
that's
probably. And I mean, I couldn't have told you it was Harryhausen at the time. I was probably like 6 years old, but I remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Clash of the Titans is probably where I became familiar with the name, but I had seen some of his stuff before.
I didn't know he did Elf or the dinosaur movies. But it still would be Clash of the Titans for me.
Did you watch the remake?
Mm-mm.
Which Harryhausen had nothing to do with, of course.
The Clash of Titans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yes, I've seen it.
I've learned not to ruin my childhood.
It didn't ruin mine. I really didn't like the take. I mean, it's okay. I mean, if you hadn't seen the original,
it's a very modernized version.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't necessarily help it either, but
yeah.
I didn't call it out because I thought it was great or anything. I called it out.
Right.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to. I had to just to see because I do love the original so much. I just remember how incredible the crack and of course the Medusa sequence was just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to see the remake. I wanted to see how they handled that. I knew it was going to be CGI. I knew the whole thing was going to be CGI.
It had to be different. There's just no other way.
I
remember thinking the owl was really cool.
Yeah.
The mechanical. That was awesome.
The original owl. I liked him. I don't know about the new one.
Oh, I'm talking about the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I liked
remember
him.
I don't remember it making any kind of impact in the movie, if it was even there.
It made a cameo, just a kind of a nod and wink.
Right. But it
was actually, if I remember correctly, it was sitting like on a shelf in a blacksmith's place, and then they showed it and made some kind of joke or reference to it, and then that was it. I mean, that's all it was. It was just a nod to, hey, we didn't forget about it. It's just not going to be in this film,
right?
Which is fine, because I mean that was totally put in for the toys.
Oh yeah.
Which then they turn around, they didn't make any toys on the thing.
Right.
I'm like, y'all really didn't think this through, did you?
Missed opportunity.
The ball was dropped.
I mean, hell, you did Pegasus, and then you did the bad guy. I can't remember his name right now. The son that was turned into a creature.
Yeah, I'm blanking.
Yeah.
It's been too long
anyway,
since I've seen it.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it too. But, he had an action figure. Of course, Perseus had one. I don't remember Medusa. And I think they actually made a pretty humongous Kraken for you to play with. But that was about it. There was not. I don't remember a lot of merchandise for that, which is kind of strange.
Yeah.
And you would think by now, with nostalgia and all that they might go back and do some of that shit. I guess hell, they're doing stuff for the Black Hole. They've done stuff for Batman 66 and all that kind of stuff. You think there might be a little bit of a market for it, but I don't know. What do I know?
Right. I mean, it's enough of a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's friggin' Harryhausen. I mean, come on.
Yep. Calibus. That's his name.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know how that just came to me, but it did. So. All right. Anything else? Mikey?
Oh, is that me still? I thought we moved on. Okay.
Oh,
no,
well,
I'm good.
I'd move on with if you had anything else, but if you're done, then
I'm good.
We'll go ahead to. All right, Mr. Les.
Let's see. Took in a couple of movies. Nothing that brings anything much to mind. But
that good, huh?
Well, it was just fun to be out.
Okay.
And be able to see movies in a theater again. So that's the main thing I took from the whole time.
Okay.
And I would say that a good time was had by all. Just enjoyed them.
Cool.
That's about it for me.
Okay. All right. For me, not a whole lot. I've been kind of binge watching the Doctor Who on Pluto, which is fun because a lot of the episodes or story arcs I had not seen before, so it's kind of cool to see them. It's amazing how some of these stories may only take 3 episodes. Then you have War Games, which is the last Patrick Troughton story arc. 10 episodes.
Oh, man.
Which was about 3 or 4 episodes too long. There was literally 30 minutes where nothing story-wise happened. it's kind of like we're just stuck in a quagmire and we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Well, there's 30 minutes. We'll see you next week. And that happens to be the one where it ends with him being penalized by the Time Lords and banished to Earth and regenerate, which I need to go back and look because they played around. There's times where they mention regeneration, but in this case, they just said, well, we're just going to change your face. So, and bless him, what they had him do is they just kind of warped the image of him, and then he started making different faces, like his face is literally being rearranged. And I was like, go ahead.
Like he was in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you're figuring they were saying, hey, we're going to change your face. And it was such a little funny sequence because they gave him the option of what the look like, and they gave him 3 or 4, and he's like, well, that's too old. He's too fat. He's too skinny. Okay, fuck it. We're going to do whatever the hell we want. Hey, wait a minute. So it's been kind of, like I said, it's been kind of fun watching those. I wish they had all of them or a lot more than what they do, because there are times I could tell that there's like a humongous gap. So they're doing the best they can, but that's okay. And watching some of the stuff on YouTube, I came across, and I'll put a link we'll have a link in the show notes. It's a audio recording of Evening with Jon Pertwee, and this was taken in 1995, and he passed away 97, I believe. It's a 2-hour little thing where he's just basically telling stories from him growing up, and then getting to acting, and then of course the first hour is pretty much pre-Doctor Who, and then he takes a little bit of a break because he had back issues. And he's sitting on a stool, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like that's a really smart thing, but hey, whatever. He obviously had the ability to overrule that, but he went with it. Took a little bit of a break, came back, and then the start of the second hour's pretty Doctor Who intensive, and then post Doctor Who, right up to like a year or so prior. It's really, the thing is this makes me love the guy, because they're all wonderful stories. They're all funny. He tells them so well, and he had a very adventurous life. He was talking about when he was 7 years old, and he was in school, and he had actually been watching. He had really fallen in love with the Tarzan films. So what he had decided to do is, he was in the lavatory. He jumped up and grabbed the chain, because this was the lavatories back then, and you had the pull chain, that type of thing. He swung from one to the next toilet, and then he swung to the third one, and then the third one is where everything literally fell. He tore up the toilet, swinging like he was Tarzan.
Uh-huh.
That he tells a lot of funny stories. He's had a lot of stuff happen to him. He was kicked out of a lot of art drama schools, basically being told you'll never amount to anything, as in terms of an actor. And it's funny, one of them, the last ones he was kicked out of, and he basically was kicked out because they were doing a play. It was like a Greek play or something like that. Yeah, it was a Greek play, and he refused to play his role, and the role was Wind. He didn't want to play Wind. So because of that, he got kicked out. And one day he run into Charles Lawton. And if you don't know who that is, he's a very, very famous, successful actor. Had a very nice long career, very well regarded. And he says to Pertwee, "Well, I heard you've been kicked out of this school." And I don't remember the name. He said, "Yeah." He says, "Well, you're going to do well because I was kicked out of that school too."
Nice.
I'll tell you one Doctor Who story. It was years after he had left the role. He was invited to go to like a panel or something like that, and he decided to invite Patrick Troughton to go with him. And Patrick didn't want to go and all. He had no interest in all that. He says, "Well, no, just come on, just come with me, and just see what it's all about and all that kind of stuff." So he did. He finally relented and went. And while all this was going on, they were invited to go to this manufacturing plant where they make like suitcases and luggage and all that kind of stuff. And they would have lunch there. And John says, "Come on, you ought to come with me." Okay, so they go. They have a very nice lunch. They have at least 2 bottles of wine. And they were asked, "Well, why don't you go out into the plant and see all the workers and just say hi to them and that kind of stuff?" "Well, okay, well, we'll do that." So they go out and do that, and then they're taken to this room, and here's 2 sets of luggage, very nice luggage, and they have their initials on them. Said, "These are for you." So 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 the day's over with, and they're heading home, and Patrick turns to John and says, "Does this kind of happen all the time? You go into these shows and then invited to lunch and then be given gifts and all that?" He says, "Yeah, more or less, yeah." "Can I come to the next one?" That's how Troughton got into doing the conventions. He didn't do them before. It was basically John pulling them out and saying, "Hey, you're gonna have fun," which is great that they did because they always played around. He made a mention, and I have not heard this story. So I'll have to look for it. There's apparently one of these conventions where the 2 of them had a water gun fight.
Cool.
I want to hear this story. How the hell did this come about? And it ends with him talking about this show called Gotcha. And the nearest equivalent we had here is part of the segments from Bloopers and Practical Jokes. If anybody remembers that, the show that was with Dick Clark and Ed McMahon, where most of the show was bloopers from shows, but they would also have where they would do practical jokes on people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, this is what Gotcha was. It's essentially someone's being set up, and then at the end they'll come in and say, "Okay, well, we got you." So he had been invited to go to this radio station, and they were going to set up a time where they were going to let him play his favorite songs, and then he would talk about those songs and take phone calls from fans and that kind of thing. So he goes up there, and then they start playing all the wrong songs, and everything just goes wrong, and he's going, and he doesn't understand what the hell's going on and all that. And then here comes the host from the show. He comes in, and they talk a little bit, and then the dude hands him. Apparently, they hand out an award. It's like a hand, and it's the Gotcha Award. He says, here you go, John. Here's your Gotcha Award." He says, He says, but I've never been on the show. He says, don't believe that. So it's a really funny. It's a really funny 2 hours. It's like 2 hours and 17 minutes, but it's worth it. He just has some great stories, and he's so yeah. I'll put a link. We'll get a link in the show notes, but it was very fun to listen to that. So okay, yeah. Before we get into this week's funnery, do want to mention that we do have a Discord that's for anybody can enjoy and join. I'm already having problems talking. This is not good.
Enjoy it too. That's
oh,
fine.
you can enjoy it, yeah.
Enjoy us.
Yeah. Boy, that could be taken wrong.
That might have come out wrong. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Good night, folks.
Thanks, everybody.
Sign up for Discord is free. The app is free in all the app stores. We do have an open invitation on our homepage, www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. We post news items, stuff for discussion, stuff to laugh at, funny videos, some music. We'll have fun activities on there, that kind of thing. So, yeah, if you like the show, which apparently you do, I'll mention that here. I'll talk about that here in a little bit. Yeah, come join us. It's a blast.
Yep, we have a good time.
We had just found out just within the last few days that we are ranked. We're ranked 15th of top geek podcasts for 2023 by Goodpods. So we found out the hard way because our friends Pitney and Amelia, Amelia in particular, had tweeted that they were number one on that said list. I was like, "Wow, that's cool. That's awesome!" And she was, of course, she obviously was excited about it. So I pull up that list. And I'm like, okay, well, let me torture myself and see if we're on this list. And lo and behold, we're 15th. I think they listed 43, but I think the list was like 100. So, I mean, even 43, we're in the top third.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That is pretty cool.
Thank you guys for supporting us all this time. So. We'll see if we get that number up this year.
It's crazy because I know for me personally, probably Thomas for you too, this has been like my worst year ever. So to find out this is like our best year ever, it's kind of like, wow. Do y'all hate me or do you like me?
Yeah, the world revels in your misery. Yay!
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was, just a lot of horrible stuff happened in 2023, but the podcast has done incredibly. This was our best. 2023 was our best year in terms of downloads, and then now this accolade, and God knows what else. We just haven't found out yet because, I mean, we're just, as we're recording, this is January 2nd, so we're just now, leaving 2023. Yeah. So we may find out some other stuff, but it's been amazing how well the podcast has done, especially since we took a month off for personal reasons.
Yeah.
So so thank you once again, everybody that made that happen. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, like I said, it's the new year, so. Let's start it off right with a casting call. Woo-hoo!
Woot.
And silence from Les, of course.
He's just here for the beer.
There's beer? Wait.
What, you didn't get that delivery?
No, I just get muffins. You know?
Okay.
Canned bread.
Well, the canned bread, we knew.
That didn't have anything to do with us, right?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that was you.
Yeah.
You-
Started me. I think my sister sent me a case or two, too, so.
Oh, wow.
It's been an ongoing thing.
It's a running joke. Yay.
It is, yeah. It's neater than canned bread.
Yeah.
I'd buy that for $1.
If this is your first episode with us, we do a casting call every other month, so we do about 6 a year. I usually come up with a concept. It may be an established show or movie, comic based, usually more times than not, or something new. And this one is going to be a brand new one. And I come up with a list of characters. I send it out to the guys, and we'll do a casting call. And I usually set it up at a certain point in time. We did like an Avengers movie in the late '60s. We even did an Indiana Jones. I think we did Raiders of the Lost Ark as a 1941 radio series. So we do different types of things. So for this time, we are doing a Hawkman 1995 TV series. I didn't really listed it whether it's syndicated or on network. More than likely would have been syndicated. But so with that, I have given all the characters to the guys for them to cast. And let's just go ahead and start casting our TV series. Who would like to go first?
I'll kick us off. That way,
Okay.
if mine are so bad, by the time we get to the end, y'all will forget.
I knew there's a reason why you usually go first.
Right.
Assuming we're not making any notes.
Oh, man. I almost messed this one up.
We're going to cast the Blob?
I was about to cast Doctor Who. I got my episodes a little confused, and I thought it was going to be like smooth sailing because I was going to let Brandon do all the talk. So
I agree with the previous statement.
yeah. So these may be a little out there because I honestly I feel bad because I didn't think about this one as long as I should have because, like I said, I've had a lot going on.
Someone didn't look at the schedule. No.
I did, but this one's highlighted, so for some reason my brain just like smooth clean blopped it out. I don't know.
Okay.
And then when I told Brandon, I was like, "Are you ready for this?" And he was like, "Ready for what?" Wah wah wah. So, I only got to spend a couple of days on my list, so I do apologize if some of these are a little wonky.
Wonky or Wonka?
Part of me wants to make the joke about how are we going to know the difference, but
right.
I don't. That almost feels mean at this point.
Why? And I almost forgot 1995. I almost cast Jensen for the first role, and he would have been like 12. So.
Oh, that would have been great.
Right. I'm glad I caught myself on that one.
Hawk Boy.
Yeah. Hawkman Jr. Okay. But for the first one, Hawkman, I went ahead and I cast Kevin Smith. Not that Kevin Smith, but Kevin Smith, the one that was in Xena. I think it was Kevin Todd Smith. Because part of this, you want him to have a good physique and, he's shirtless half the time. So, Yep.
And everybody
Perfect.
in there was shirtless half the time. That was part of the appeal.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. That's a
Yep.
good one.
Cool. Yep. Xena might come up again later in this thing.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Bum-ba-dum.
Might come on my
It
list.
was a really
if you
damn
want.
popular show in 1995. I'm just saying.
It was.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're going next, Mikey?
sure, I'll go next. It was not the only popular show in 1995, though. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't pick everybody from Xena. There's
Almost.
a couple. There were a couple of shows that I latched onto, and this my Hawkman is from one of them. I chose Jerry O'Connell.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
sliders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which was 95, by the way.
Yes, it
I looked
was.
at that one too.
Oh yeah. Well, and it was a surprisingly fun show at the time.
It was.
I liked
yeah.
it.
And didn't it kind of end like on a cliffhanger?
Yeah, they were. I think they
Yeah.
weren't expecting it to end, and it just sort of got cut off out from under them, and they were like,
And they were
well,
never seen again.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
are we going to end this? Well, and eventually it was just kind of like, well, fuck it. They did the same thing at Quantum Leap, so why not?
Yeah.
Worked out okay.
And before he did sliders, didn't he do like a ton of Disney?
I think he did some.
Okay.
I think.
I don't remember.
Because it was him and the guy who did, what was it, the computer wore tennis shoes?
Kurt Russell.
Yeah. That was like Disney's
Yeah, he
two.
did. Yeah, Kurt Russell did a bunch of Disney stuff too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Supposedly Walt Disney's final words, if you believe that. On his deathbed, he said Kurt Russell and died.
Huh.
Jerry O'Connell did Stand By Me.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
in Stand By Me.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pretty well-rounded actor.
Well, he definitely was back then.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
He was-
yeah.
Liz,
I
he-
just thought of the part he played, but
Yeah.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
was the fat kid, right?
Yeah. Sorry. I just meant as far as serious and he can
No,
be
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Backpedal.
Like I said, I just thought of the character that he played in that.
Beep, beep, beep.
Less savor, please.
Say, save her from my pick, apparently.
Yeah.
Jeez.
For me, I took Michael T. Weiss. He
Oh,
had
yeah.
a TV show called The Pretender.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
He'd have been great in this too.
And I think he would have had the timbre in his voice and the withal to pull the position off. I think, to me, he was a very good actor.
He was.
Just sorry that he decided to get out of acting.
Yep, Pretender was a really cool show too.
He was in my soap,
Yeah.
Days of Our Lives.
Yep.
So was Jensen. Matter of fact, I think it was about the same time. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
Moving on.
Okay. My choice, yeah, he would look good in a suit, and I think he would have fun playing around with the wings and all that. And it would be a different... I love him. He's great. John Barrowman.
Oh, sure. That would be fun.
How old would he have been? Just out of
He...
curiosity.
Let me look. Because I know I looked at that too. He was born in 1967, so he would have been 20,
Close to
20.
30, yeah.
Yeah, he'd been around 30.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
That's cool.
That would be fun.
he would have had fun with it.
Mm.
Oh, by far.
Okay.
Next.
Next.
I'm sorry.
No,
No,
you're
you're
not.
not.
Damn, you're not getting any breaks tonight, Liz. What's up with that?
All right. Next, we have his faithful companion, Hawkwoman. I almost, once again, like I said before, I caught my 95 mistake. I almost cast Felicia Day in this part, but she would have been too young also. So instead, I went with Renee O'Connor.
Son of a bitch. Well, this is going to be quick and easy.
Right. She's perfect. I mean, I don't blame you. Good choice.
Yep, I picked her too.
Yep. She was a good sidekick.
She really, I thought, I mean, she fit. I thought she fit the look of the role, and I've seen her in enough other stuff. I mean, she was obviously utterly awesome in Xena, but I've seen her in enough other stuff that she could act really well.
She could. Yep.
It was one of the, which Bruce Campbell movie was it? I can't remember the name of it. It was kind of a sci-fi one. And she plays just this utter badass and just kicks the ass of everybody she comes up against. And she's just really good in the role.
Yeah.
And I think that actually would be a good template for this. So, yeah.
Yep. And present day,
I agree with
she's
the
a
previous
redhead,
statement.
and she's rocking it. So, yep. You agree with
Okay. Les?
For me, this one was a kind of a difficult choice because I came up with some really well thought people. One was Gail O'Grady from NYPD Blue. And I'm going to go with Jennifer Connelly.
That works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've seen enough of her serious roles to believe that she can pull this stuff off.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And in 95, wasn't she doing like that Ghost Whisperer TV show? I forget the name of it now.
No,
Where she could talk to like...
That's Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Jennifer Connelly was in Labyrinth.
Yep.
In Rocketeer.
Yeah. And she was one of the Betty Rosses.
Yep.
I forget
Okay.
which.
Got my Jennifers mixed up.
It's not like there's a lot of Jennifers out there or anything. I mean, come on.
She was also in the Ben Hulk.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but you said Betty Ross's. Never mind. I'm sorry. Yep. Okay. For me, I didn't really go with a look, although I think it would. I don't think it would have been a problem. I went more with kind of the attitude. I went with Michelle Forbes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ensign Roe Laren.
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yep. I like that.
Another one who kind of disappeared from the limelight for a while.
Yep, unfortunately. Okay, next.
All right. Next we have Adam / Ray Palmer. On this one, I decided to. I think the one that they have right now casting him, or they did have cast for him in Arrowverse, they kind of like nailed him. But for mine, I picked John Cusack.
Okay.
This would have been off his John Hughes film days.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
I want to see somebody chase again saying, I want my $2. Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty, Mikey.
I did not pick John Cusack, so There we go.
Aw.
No, I think he'd be good at it. I think it'd be fun. But that was not the direction I went. Again, I stole somebody else from another TV show from the time period, and I picked David James Elliott.
Okay.
He starred in a show called Jag at the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
I remember him from something else too, though. Well,
Maybe he did some Hallmark movies or something. I don't know. Sure he wasn't on Days of Our Lives? I don't know.
he was Jensen's dad.
Don't start with that
I
again.
had
Holy
to get
cow.
Is he Jensen Ackles' stand-in or anything?
No. Doogie Howser. That's probably where I know him from.
You're right.
Maybe. I never
Jensen
watched
was in that too. No, I'm kidding.
No, he was not. Yeah,
That would have been
he
funny,
was the
though,
third
right?
corpse over in the morgue in that one episode.
That was his toe. I know it.
Uh-huh. Couldn't miss that toe anywhere.
A nice little sick.
A little.
But he does look like he's done some like Lifetime movies, so.
And Hallmark, yeah, I'm sure.
Don't blame him for that.
No,
Don't
I mean
put
that's
blame
probably
him.
where I've seen him.
It's a paycheck. You know?
Right,
As I said, I've probably watched them all.
right. A lot of
I
them.
mean,
Anyway.
it could be worse. It could be Rebel Moon. So you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Passing out Band-Aids on that one.
mm-hmm.
Okay, Les, your turn.
Okay. For Adam, I went with a star from Stand By Me, Richard Dreyfuss.
Ooh,
Okay.
I like that.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yep, it's hard to go wrong with him.
Academy
Yeah.
Award winner. Star of famous movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't he also? Oh, never mind. Nope.
Not going to do that again, huh?
Nope. No, as soon as I almost said it, I answered myself.
Okay, what were you going to say?
It was a different movie, different guy.
Different Richard.
Yep. I
Okay.
like that one.
I went a little different, and I'm not sure why now. But I mean, I still like my choice because I think he could do a good job. Maybe bring a little humor to it. Jason Bateman.
Ah, I like that one.
Cool.
I
Yeah.
forgot about him.
Oh, you'll be getting a letter for that comment.
That would.
Right? Well, no, I'm surprised I did because when I was a teenager, he was like one of the heartthrobs along with Kirk Cameron. They were kind of like up there together, you know.
They both had popular TV shows.
Yep.
Yeah. And kind of similar shows, weren't they?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same vein.
What show are you talking about?
I was trying to find the one that Jason Bateman was in. I know him also from Little House on the Prairie, so I always liked him better than Kurt. But what was that TV show? It was out the same time that wasn't Family Ties. It was
Growing Pains.
was it Family Ties that Kirk Cameron was on?
Growing Pains.
No.
No, Growing Pains.
Yes, but I can't remember the one that Bateman was in. But he was like the teenage son, kind of goofy like Kirk Cameron was. Let's see if I can.
You talking about one of his first shows?
Maybe. Hogan Family. That's it.
Oh, no, that's much later.
Yeah.
What was the one he was on early?
Early was Little House on the Prairie.
Not that.
He was like 10.
Earlier than that. He did
Early.
a TV series where he was a teenage son that was trying to screw up the life of the man that wanted to date his mom.
Yeah, it's called It's Your Move.
That's it.
Yep. And he was also, I didn't know, that he was also on Silver Spoons.
Yes. He's pretty diverse.
He is. And all different kinds of things, too. He's also done animation, Justice League Unlimited, comedy.
Uh-huh.
Now, it says he was the Outsiders. Was that a TV show or the movie?
I don't think he was in the movie.
So
No.
I don't remember him in the movie.
He would have been too young for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because the movie had like Ralph Macchio and C. Thomas Howell and Matt Dillon.
This
Yeah.
was actually a Stephen King novel that they made into a series.
Okay.
That's cool. Well, I like that one.
All right. Next.
Okay. First one, I didn't know about this guy. I'm not versed on Hawkman too well, but his name was Gentleman Ghost. And on this one, I didn't think it really mattered what the person looked like from the pictures that I saw because he's a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked a guy that I thought could carry the attitude faceless, and I went with Vincent Castle.
Interesting.
With whom again?
Vincent Castle.
Okay.
Yeah. Recently, I knew him from Westworld, that show I got really into. He was one of the bad guys in there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Mikey.
I went a slightly different take. I went with someone who I thought would be versatile enough to do pretty much anything you wanted to do with Gentleman Ghost. If you wanted to do the ghostly voice out of nowhere thing, you could do that. If you wanted him to be visible and be just kind of a, I mean, however you want to play it, you could get away with anything with Rowan Atkinson, I thought.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sky's the limit.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. I like that.
All right, Les.
Gentleman Ghost. This could have gone to so many people. I was thinking Michael Caine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, now you're just trying to one-up me. Jeez.
Oh, no. I'll one-up you later.
Just wait a minute there, buddy.
Oh, you're going
It's hard
two up
for
me
me
now,
to
huh?
see him outside of the Alfred role.
Oh, but he had a good long career
God.
before that. Oh,
I
my God.
know, but, you know.
He's done so many great stuff. Yeah.
That's the Burton in me, you know.
Those weren't even the Burton movies.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't. That was the other the other trilogy.
Nolan.
Nolan, there you go.
Face palm. Alrighty. I was kind of on the similar wavelength. I wanted the British voice because it was a British. I believe that his history was British. I cast basically as a voice. You can always have like a stand-in or stuntman to do the stand-in to do the other stuff. Christopher Lee.
Oh.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
Yeah, again.
Commendable.
Hard to beat that one.
I think he could act anything. So.
Oh, he did act anything.
Yep.
He did a few movies.
He's played
a few. Yep.
Just a few roles.
2 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alrighty, next.
All right. This one I also went with on looks, and I had to bring another one of my Xena characters in. But he's probably not even known for that because he's produced some excellent movies since then. And I went with Ted Remy. He's got that tall, lanky, boxy-looking face, you know.
Ted Raimi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joxer. He will forever be Joxer in my head.
Okay.
You know, in 95, we could afford him.
In 2024, we can afford him. But anyway.
Especially if you get his brother somehow involved.
Right. Just make his brother an executive producer, and we're in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, I could see it. Could be fun.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, Mikey.
That is not the direction I went, though. I cheated. I guess in a way I cheated on this one a little bit because later, Shadow Thief was made female, or there was a female Shadow Thief.
Okay.
And, so and this was like in the 2000s, like 2010, or I don't remember exactly. I don't remember what the numbers were. I've slept at least once since then. But
Doubt that.
it wasn't that long ago. Yeah, not much. But I thought it would be fun. If nothing else, let's add at least another female to this thing.
Sure.
And again, I had a couple of TV shows from the time in my head, so I chose Carrie Werrer.
Okay.
Okay.
Also from Sliders.
For Sliders.
But also did some other really interesting roles. For
remote control.
Several years after that, yeah. She even played a bad guy a few times, and that was fun.
Yep.
She's pretty good.
That would be pretty cool. Yep.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Les?
For me, I went with Jimmy Smits.
Ooh.
Cool. Okay.
I feel at that time he had the look and the manner of the character.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Very interesting choice. I like that. Yeah.
Because this is like between LA Law and NYPD Blue, right? Or is this when NYPD Blue was happening?
This was after NYPD Blue.
Oh, wow. I'm off.
Yep.
Not by much, but yeah.
I was real excited when he came to Sons of Anarchy. He definitely added to that part.
He was really good on West Wing that final year.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
He's
He
been in a lot of
has.
good
Good
stuff.
in a lot
Yep.
of stuff.
He's been incredibly good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't think of a bad performance, but
Mm-mm.
if there was one, I obviously blocked it out of my mind. So I'm not sure exactly how this name came to me, but I was like, I kind of like his attitude, especially some of his more recent films. And I thought it would be kind of cool to have him in this. Jackie Earl Haley.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Rorschach.
Mm-hmm.
Bad News Bears.
Okay. Yep.
Kelly Leak.
Watchmen.
Yep. I think he would have fun with that.
I like that.
As do I.
Alrighty, next.
Okay. This one I didn't know a lot about either. And he looked cute, funny, and short. So I went with Leslie Jordan.
Oh,
Cute, funny, short.
I like it. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, Mikey.
I was actually for a minute there afraid that she and I were going to have the same pick again, but
Uh-oh.
no, we didn't. We didn't. We
Okay.
didn't. I'm not sure. I don't like yours better, but I think mine would also be a lot of fun. Back to some of those same TV shows. I chose Robert Trevor. He was more on Hercules than Xena. And if you see a picture of him, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yes.
The character he played was Salmonius.
Yep.
He was a short, funny, Weasley guy that was constantly getting in trouble,
Yep.
and that for some reason they considered him a friend anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. I like him.
Alrighty, Les.
This is Matter Master.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I went with Tim Curry.
Ooh.
Well, that's a bit of a different take than Liz and I took, but yeah,
Right,
but not in a
yep.
bad way. There's
That's
no
what I
such thing as
said,
a
I
bad
like
way
it.
with Tim Curry.
Never.
Oh
Yep.
man, yeah. I
That
mean,
would be great.
He could. I mean, with that, you could run the gamut. You can have him be a little bit more comic relief, or you can have him be just an utter nightmare.
You could have him flip the switch in the middle also.
Yeah.
Which would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be that would be really cool. Yeah, I love that. I love that. For me, I'm not sure how I came up with this name. I think he could do the job. I guess it's because it's not a type of character I've seen him do before, but I think he could do. I think he can have the range and. Anyway, I went with Eric Stoltz.
Okay.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Like I said, I'm not sure exactly how I came across that name, but I was like, yeah, that would be kind of cool to see him try to do that.
Be interesting to see what he did with it.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's good enough that he could pull off most anything you want.
Right.
But it would be interesting to kind of give him the reins a little bit. Cool.
Okay. And our final one, Liz.
Final one. We have the monocle. Yeah, I've always tried to look for a way to cast this guy just because he's awesome.
He's 12, remember that.
That's what I was going to say. He's 12, not that guy. And I think you guys will actually approve of this guy. But when I looked up a picture of Monocle and I saw this picture, I couldn't think of anybody better to play him than Bruce Campbell himself. And that's my Xena list. Although I didn't cast him thinking Xena, and then it just kind of all fit. It was like, oh yeah, he was on that.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. See, not Jensen, just his uncle.
Right.
Who'd have thunk it?
I could see it. I mean, it's different, but I could see it.
Yeah.
I could. It would be fun. Again, it would be fun to see what he did with it, what he would do with it. Just because it's fun to watch Bruce Campbell work a lot of times. But
they had a picture right before Doctor Strange came out, and it was him dressed up as Doctor Strange, and I was wanting so bad to see that in the movie, and it never came. So. But the picture I saw of the Monocle, like I said, to a T, was him as Doctor Strange.
Right. Whether that's serious or campy is completely up in the air, but
right.
Yeah. Interesting.
I like that.
I think we could have fun with that.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he could have fun with that.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mikey.
I think my choice could have some fun with it too. Maybe honestly, it could go either way. It could be in the same way, could be in a very different way. Because he's pretty damn good too. I chose John Delancey.
Ooh.
Q.
Yep. That could be fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
You could
pull
a very similar impish humor out of it, and also do the dark and sinister.
Remember this TV show. You're next, Les.
Remember this TV show? Okay. For the Monocle, I decided I wanted him looking quite British again. I went with Pierce Brosnan.
Ooh.
That would work.
That would work.
Yep, that would.
Yep, I like that.
Hard to go wrong again.
Yep.
But man, the budget for Les's show is obviously much higher than ours.
I got a feeling it's not going to last past the first
the pilot.
pilot.
That's all we could afford.
For my choice, remember that TV show that I just mentioned, or it was just mentioned? Daniel Davis.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could see this.
Liz, do you remember?
I'm looking.
He was Moriarty
on that show.
Yep.
Okay.
2 episodes, but still, he made an impact.
Well, he made so much of an impact that he showed up on Picard. So,
cool.
He was
30,
also
40
Giles.
years.
No, that wasn't Giles. Daniel Davis was the butler on The Nanny.
Yeah.
Not Giles.
Giles.
That wasn't his name, was it?
Yeah. It was. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't really obviously watch The Nanny.
With an N. I had it wrong. Niles.
Yeah, because Giles was a different show.
Giles was Buffy.
Yeah. Two caretakers.
Honestly, Anthony Head would also make a nice Monocle.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
If we want to go that route. But yeah.
God, he would be good in anything, just about.
Pretty much.
And I always thought that Charles Shaughnessy,
Shaughnessy?
Yeah, he always reminded me of Pierce Bronson. Like they could be like brothers or something, you know?
There is a similar look. Yeah, I can see that. Yep. All right. Okay, Les, did you cast anybody else?
Yes, I did.
I kind of figured you did. Go ahead.
First is Bith. Bith was the first person that Cater Hall fought. This was the man that could change into any animal from any planet. He was in Mystery in Space 34. No, not Mystery in Space, but he was in Brave and Bold 34. This was the large dragon-like character that was coming out of a tunnel, harassing characters, people. And for Bith, I figured, what the hell, Bruce Willis.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my other pick was from Mystery in Space 75, which was in 1962 is considered the best not series but episode of a ongoing series, and Kanjar Row. Kanjar Row from the slave ship of space. This is where he battled both Adam Strange and the Justice League.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't we do Kanjar Row recently?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. Go ahead.
For him, I decided James Spader.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. You would have got along with my John Cusack.
I was going to say, I'm a little surprised you didn't cast James Spader for this anyway, but yeah.
Right? Yeah. Or Andrew McCarthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys were all looking for an edge in their careers at this point.
Yeah.
The
Break out of that teen stuff.
The Hughes days were over.
So that's what I got.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Did anybody else? We know Liz didn't have any others. Did Mikey? Did you cast any others?
I did not.
Okay, no, that's all right. Not a problem. Not a problem.
Wasn't on the test, so.
Well, you don't always have to stick with what I have.
We don't. And if I had been more familiar with these guys, I might have gotten a little more.
Yeah.
Diverse.
I understand. All righty. Let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be back with Geek News for You. And we're back, and it's time for Geek News for You. In this segment, we bring a couple of news items to the table for discussion. And this week, it is Les and myself. And Les, would you like to go first?
All right, sir. Thank you. My article is concerning Greg Capullo. This is a writer-artist that has been with DC for over a decade. The news is that he is doing a new comic for Marvel. Mm-hmm. He's returning to Marvel after like 15 years at DC. There is an article that we'll have posted, and there is a sketch from the new read. There's nothing to designate as to what it is. Nothing in the article tells you what the title is or what or who is going to write the book. So I can't give you much information that way, but I'm kind of happy to see him branch out a little more. Capullo has been quite the writer and artist for over a decade at DC, and he became one of my favorites. I hope that everyone else will enjoy it too, and it's kind of fun to see someone branch out a little more.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. He's pretty good, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yes, he is. Alrighty. For me, I saw this. Actually, saw this about a couple weeks back. Since it's the first of the year, I figured this would be a cool thing. This is from IndieWire, and it's an opinion piece from Tony Maglio and Brian Welk, and they do 9 predictions for 2024. Now, I'm not going to go over 9. I'm not going to do all 9. So if you're interested, read all of them. Obviously, the link will be in the show notes, but I'm going to cover a couple of these. First one up, they are predicting that it's really, this is kind of a gimme, and they even admit it in the article, that we're going to see a lot of streamer bundles appear. Matter of fact, we already had one appear just before the end of the year. Verizon was offering, I believe it was Netflix, ad-supported Netflix and Max. It was either Max or Disney for like $10 a month. Yes, it was Netflix and Max. And Apple TV and Paramount are already looking at something like that. According to this, one of their experts they talked to, it predicts that at the end of this year or by mid 2025, there will be a quote unquote more robust bundled price around $40 per month, which would be likely centered around 2 or more motherships: Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Hulu, Disney Plus, and Max, and then smaller niche services to round out the package.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is something we've already talked about.
We have, yep.
A little bit, yeah.
We've talked about this.
Amazon has almost got it. If they would give you the same discounts that the streaming service is giving customers, I would do everything inside of Amazon. I don't have to search. I don't have to hunt. It's almost like having cable on my computer,
Yeah. Like I said, we've talked about this off and on for the last couple of years, because I had said something when everybody and their uncle's getting the streaming service, that I personally, and I'm sure everybody else here, whether right here, right now, or our audience, would not want to pay $15 a month for this packet, for this streamer, so we have a couple of shows here, another $15 for another couple of shows here, and then on and on and on. That's a lot of money. That adds up pretty damn quick for just a couple for a handful of shows.
Liz can tell you.
Liz knows.
It does.
So, but it's also kind of funny that we're kind of, there's this big push to move away from cable, but it's almost becoming the next cable.
It is. Yeah. Yep.
So.
Well, just like I said with Amazon, it basically is cable. Here's your channels. Here's what you can watch right now. The only difference is I'm not constrained with time schedules like cable is.
Yeah.
For commercials. Which is weird because a lot of the streaming services now are adding commercials. And it's like, hello, this is why we cut the cord. And here we are.
Well, but you had to know that was coming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it does also make the streaming service available to people who don't want to pay for not watching commercials. So it is a lower tier stream. But I get too distracted for commercials. I'd rather just watch my movie, get it over with.
Well, it depends on how they handle it,
Yeah.
I mean, like with Tubi, it's not too bad. It kind of depends, but
And Hulu has a couple of shows that's not included in their the no commercial part, like Grey's Anatomy, but they play a commercial at the very beginning. You can't skip it, but it's like 15 seconds,
Right.
And then they'll play one at the end. Well, you don't have to watch the one at the end. You can automatically just X out, So it's not too bad. I would hate it if they broke up my show to put a commercial in there.
It could be a hell of a lot worse. I tried to watch Charlie Chan's Secret with Warner Owen. I watched, as a matter of fact, it was either last night or the night before. I only got 10 minutes into the film because the first ad break was like 2 minutes. The second ad break was at 6 minutes. So in 6 minutes, I've already had 2 ad breaks.
Yeah. And most of them are like 2 minutes long, too. That's crazy.
It's like, what the hell? Just as you're trying to get involved in the story, commercial break,
Yep.
So, yeah.
See, and that's when my brain clicks, and it's like, what can I mess with?
Right. I'm going to take something apart now.
Yeah. Oh, let's rearrange the bedroom.
All right. Moving on. Our next prediction. And this was a news item that broke after we had finished up for the year. That Warner Brothers actually had some talk with Paramount about a possible merger.
Mm-hmm.
Their prediction is nothing's going to happen. Obviously, Warner Brothers is still trying to get its shit together after merging with Discovery 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're still trying to get out of all the pitfalls, and they're trying to sell some of their completed movies to other studios to show. So I don't understand what the logic is for them to go to Paramount and say, "Hey, you want to join up?"
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Paramount, I'm going, "Fuck you."
You can join our Discord and see my theory of petty revenge on that one.
I mean, it even mentions that Zaslav had talked to Sherry Redstone, who's the family. Her family owns 77% of Paramount's voting shares through the private company they own, National Amusements Inc. So it's gotten that far.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't see Paramount wanting to get involved. The guys had proposed the idea of the Paramount joining up with Comcast, saying that's the one that makes the most sense. But the problem with that is that Paramount owns CBS and Comcast owns NBC. And there is a FCC rule of,
Monopolies.
two networks are being owned by the same company. So. So Paramount's more than likely going to be still Paramount by the end of the year. The next one, which I totally missed this, they predict that all the streamers will follow Netflix move of releasing viewership numbers, which apparently Netflix did toward the end of December for the months January through June.
Mm.
And according to this, it says, in some ways it's already started. In September, Max mimicked Netflix with its own top 10 list. A third-party TV ratings company, Nielsen, has been measuring and publicly sharing for more and more streaming data. So we'll see. So maybe at some point we'll start actually seeing these numbers instead of them saying, "Oh, this was the best view. This was the highest viewed show of our streaming service." Well, what the hell does that mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Based on what?
Yeah. So we will see. And okay, I'll do two more and that'll be it. Next one is they predict that only one new streamer will join the group of profitable streamers. It says, as of the time of this writing, here's the complete list of profitable major streamers. Netflix, which they says is reported, Hulu, which they say is long presumed, and sometimes Max. And it says that list will grow by exactly one in this year. And that one will be, what will you guess?
Disney.
Yep.
Mm.
You mean I got it right?
Woo.
This won't go down as the boldest of our predictions, as Iger has stated the final quarter of fiscal 2024, which for Disney is July to September 2024, will see the long-awaited swing. And their final prediction is, and this is going to be kind of interesting, is apparently at some point Netflix will start airing live sport events.
I can see that. Yeah.
It says that co-CEO Ted Sarandos has been closely watching what Apple's been doing with Major League Baseball and Major League Soccer. Of course, Amazon Prime has the Thursday Night Football. And then Peacock's actually going to have some of the NFL playoff games this year.
Yeah. They had a couple of games earlier, a week or two ago, also.
So what they're saying would probably be on the table. Well, there's NBA, but they're saying that's going to be too soon for Netflix. But more likely it would be IndyCar, since they had a very popular F1 racing docuseries recently. And maybe get into UFC. So that's just some of the predictions that are going to make. And I've bookmarked this, and I'm going to try to remember to go back and look at the end of the year and see how right or wrong they were. But some kind of interesting things.
Yeah. Could be cool to see.
It is.
All right. Any special shout-outs or mentions this week?
Not me.
Nope.
Nothing here.
I want to make one. Between this episode and our next episode, if I'm got my scheduler right in my mind, our friends in Pitney and Amelia's Bitching Boutique will release episode 200.
Oh yeah.
So congratulations to them for making 200.
Very nice.
Yep.
I was like, wow, 200? I thought they did more. They've done more.
Well, they're every other week.
Well, yeah, they're
So they don't do as many a year as we do. But yeah.
Oh, I know, because we'll hit 400 in October.
Probably this year, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I already have it. It depends on obviously what happens, but yeah, October, November, but more likely early October. So congrats to them. Apparently, this is going to be a big year for them. They got a lot of fun stuff planned. So we're happy for them, and congratulations on 200 episodes. And hopefully, we'll have another 200 at least.
Keep it going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to our regular shout-outs. I want to thank Pop Goes to Culture Podcast Network for allowing us to be part of a great group of fellow podcasts. There's going to be a link in the show notes where you can check them out. We also want you to check out the fine men and women of Podern Family who have been so kind enough to spread the word of the fellowship by retweeting our links. Best way to check them out is just to do a search, hashtag Podern Family, all one word. Scroll through, whatever catches your eye, please click on that link and download that episode. And we hope you have a great time checking them out. Want to thank Manny the Martyr for supplying music to the podcast. In our show notes, there will be a link where you can check out their music as well. And finally, you, dear listener, thank you for downloading and listening to today's episode. We value your feedback. Any questions, comments, suggestions, complaints, observations, what have you, please send them our way. Our email address is email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, or you can go to the website, go to the About Us page, and there's a contact form you can fill out there. If you join our Discord, we do have a section specifically for feedback. On social media, Facebook, we're the Fellowship of the Geeks. On Instagram, Twitter/X, and Hive Social, we're at Fellowship Geeks. If you want to follow our personal Twitter accounts, Mike can be found at Mikey Geek. Liz can be found at LN_geek. LN_geek, yeah. At Les can be found, or may not be found, at Fake Les Webster. I'm starting to get tired, guys. I'm sorry.
You're almost there.
And
Yeah.
that's what you get for not having any sleep for several days. And I can be found at Tom TC Geek. And from wherever you download our episodes, if you'd be so kind as to rate and review the show, it would be greatly appreciated. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Yes, thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate you listening.
Thank you for listening, everybody. We appreciate your support as always. And until next time, geek on, my friends.
We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook at The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,